up, world? And welcome to the Mecca of Mastery TV. I am your host, Mecca. If it is your mission to become the greatest version of yourself in every area of life, then you are in the right place. I'm so excited about this video because in this episode, we are speaking about personal development. And the topic of this video is why you keep failing. Let's get straight into the video. First of all, let's speak about failure. What is failure? Failure, right, as most people see it, is basically when you try to shoot at a target and you miss it, right? So you aim to get something and you don't get what you aim for. You aim for a certain result, you didn't get the result. You aim for the certain girl, you didn't get the girl. You aim for a job, you didn't get the job. You try to make a shot, but dribble, you ain't get it, it ain't going around. That's how we know. So people look at that as failure when they did not get something that they expect to get. You had something, an image, a reality, a number, an expectation in your mind, and what you got was opposite or far away from the expectation. But let's look at the truth here, right? Failing is really not just about you getting, not just down to you not getting what you expect to get. It's also things that's intertwined in that, right? And it's a reason why you don't get what you're getting. A lot of people don't realize the reason why we fail to begin with. Well, let me just jump into something real quick. One day I read this book. I'm actually reading this book right now as well. I'm reading like 3 books at the moment. That's a whole nother video to talk about. But I'm reading this book as well. This is like the 5th or 6th time that I read this book. And it's called The One Thing by Gary Keller. This book, The One Thing, has changed my life. And every time I feel like I am slipping, right, when it comes to certain things in my life, on my goals and just my schedule and how I'm looking at things, and when things are not flowing how I want them to, and my productivity especially, I have to pick this book back up so I can remind myself how the correct formula for this. And what the one thing breaks down is what I'm going to tell you about, which most people don't realize why they fail, which is because sometimes you are focusing and you are trying to do too much at one time, and you can only do one thing at a time. You can only focus on one thing at a time. And I know we live in this world, right, where people say multitasking is something. Multitasking is fake. It is not real. Multitasking is just basically having 2 things in your head, chasing 2 things, and you're basically going to catch nothing. So like in his book, The One Thing, he says, what he say, like follow or chase 2 rabbits and you'll catch neither one. Right? Sometimes we do this when it comes to business, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to, spirituality, so many things. We try to focus on so many things at once, trying to give 1,000% to everything when you can't give 1,000% to everything. And let me simplify it, let's just use 100%, right? Let's say we're speaking about relationships. Let's say you're single and you're dating. Now, when you're dating, it's like, I'm dating plenty of people, may the best man win, right? But there are a certain amount of time that you have to spend with people so you can get to know them, right? But as you begin to get to know people, when you date them and you go out and you're talking to this guy and you're talking and you're going out on this date and you're texting this person, blah, 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 as you're going through that, right? Let's say you have 5 guys that you're dating, right? Everybody is not going to get 100% of you. Over time, you have to manage the people that, I know it sounds crazy with the dating, but you have to manage the people what you're dating, right? You have to say to yourself, out of 5 of these guys, which one is getting 60%, right? Which one is getting 15%? Which one is getting 5%? This is how you have to look at it. Right? And which other ones is getting the rest? Because after let's say you have this 90-day rule after you get to know a guy, whatever, right? Just anything. After 90 days, you realize, okay, these are the 5 guys I'm dating. This is me. These are my values, my goals, my dreams, my ambitions, blah, blah, blah. I've been dating these guys, getting to know them. Who aligns with this? You can't give 100% to each one of those guys. Eventually, you have to give more to one guy than you do to everybody else. And then eventually you focus on one person, which is that one thing, which probably going to become your husband or your wife if you're a man, blah, 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 blah. But when you apply something like this to your goals as well, it's the same thing. Except for, with your goals, you're not going to drop certain activities like you're going to do the rest of the men, because I hope you're going to do that. Once you find the one, you know what I mean? You found the one. Everybody else, they got to go. Okay, you didn't work. Da-da, found you, right? But the key is, the reason why we fail, because sometimes we are focusing on so many things at one time, and we're not giving enough energy to the thing that works the most. And what I mean by this, the most important thing that is going to drive you further in your business and your relationships and your career, when it comes to money, when it comes to your spirituality, when it comes to your nutrition and your fitness, when it comes to your overall well-being, right? There's certain things in every area of your life, right, that if you just focus mainly on that one thing and you give most of your time and attention to it, that it will get you further in that area in your life rather than every other little thing that you do. So, for example, let's take spirituality. Right? For example, in spirituality, I meditate, I read about spiritual things, I do yoga, okay, I'm into crystals, tarot cards, sage, all of that, right? All of that. Breathing, ooh, it's cold out here. All of that. But for my spirituality, for me to have that deeper connection with my higher self in the universe and the cosmos, I realized the number one thing that gets most of my attention all the time is meditation. Now, there's some people that do readings every day, all day. There's some people that their thing is yoga, and they're stretching like 6 times a day. They're spending most of their days every day doing that. No, I don't do that. I do yoga once or twice a week, right? I meditate every single day. I burn my sage, I do that, and I might do a reading every Sunday as well on my spiritual healing days. But you see what I'm saying? So all of those things that I do is not getting 100%. I'm not doing yoga every day and tarot readings every day and meditating every day and reading spiritual literature and breathing exercises and whatever else every day. I figure out what I can do, right, most often that will give me the greatest impact on my spiritual development, and that will keep me deeper connected and centered in that earth-like vibe with myself, because I'm an Aries and I'm crazy. My sun is Aries, my moon is Aries, and my rising is Leo. That's too much fire. So I know that meditation keeps me grounded, keeps me like real calm and earthy. You get what I'm saying? Too much yoga, I'm like, you get what I'm saying? So you have to figure out, when you look at every area in your life where you are not growing, right? If you're not growing and you're failing at certain things when it comes to relationships and love, when it comes to money, what is one thing that you can do that more than anything else in that area that will get you further, quicker in that area than anything else? So let's take finances, right? Say you get a credit card to help you with your credit score. You know what I mean? Let's say you're investing into real estate, or you're investing into some business thing, whatever, right? Like, out of all those three, let's say the greatest thing for you is to focus on getting your credit score, because once you get your credit score up, then that will help you probably invest, right? Get lower interest rate on different investments, and plus, save more money in different ways. You know what I mean? So you have to look at what gets more attention and what gets most of, the energy put into it, and that's your one thing in each area. So when you feel like you're failing at something, let's say you put out a business project. For example, I remember before in the past, I put out like 21-day like weight loss guide, and when I first put it out, I just thought, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get all these people to buy into it, blah 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 blah, and it just was not what I expected. I was so depressed that I went out and I was drinking. I got drunk that day, because what I expected was like totally this is what I was expecting, right? And the result was this. It's not, you can't even see it. That's how bad it was, right? But I realized when I looked at it, now in life, I realized the one thing that I should have focused on. 'Cause I was focusing so crazy on the details, like this crazy details of the plan and all this stuff in the colors, and that stuff didn't matter. What mattered, I mean, it matters because it matters, but what it didn't matter as much. What mattered the most was the content, but also the marketing behind it. So back then, if I would have known, if I knew what I know now, I would have focused more on the marketing side of that plan rather than just trying the colors and getting this right and making sure this look here and this size font of this picture in the program and how I'm going to do it and what I'm going to say and blah, all of that. That didn't matter. It didn't matter, right? The thing that was mattered the most was the marketing. That would have made that plan more successful. That would have drove more sales, and that by driving more sales to me, more money for different things in my business, in my personal life. You see what I mean? So when you focus and you drill your focus down to one thing, right, it also helps with other things in other areas in your life, right? So let's say you have many guys. Let's take it back to dating, that you're dating, right? And you at a certain place in your life where you might need help. You might need a companionship. You might need some advice. You might need, nurturing. You might need some leadership. But you can get the full benefits of somebody that can help you. And you got this man right here because you're splitting all your time and energy with Tom, Joe, and Harry over here. You know what I mean? But when you direct your attention and you nurture this man, all right, and you be there and you get into him and you open your heart fully to him, you realize what he gives and what he feeds back into you helps with things in other areas in your life. But because you're splitting so much of your energy up, you're not getting that. You're not getting that. And that's why we keep failing at certain things, because you're splitting too much of your energy up and you're not directing it. And I hope you love this video and you share this with somebody you care about. We always say here at Mecca Mastery TV that you, my friend, you can go out into the world and do whatever you want to. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't, because you can do whatever you put your mind to. And guess what? I have my 21-day healing plan. Make sure you download it. It is phenomenal. If you want to get on that journey to healing yourself, because you cannot become the greatest version of yourself until you begin to heal those parts of yourself that is blocking you from your blessings, just go ahead and click the link in the description box below. Also, I'm doing one-on-one coaching. I have some coaching slots open this month. So email me at meccabookings@gmail.com or just hit the description box below, the link in the description box. Also, if you just want to say hello, ask for some advice or whatever, just email me. And if you're on social media, make sure you connect with me on all my social media platforms. And as we always say here, I love you. You can do whatever. You want to go out into that world and be the greatest version of yourself. Shine bright like a diamond. I'm sending my love, my light, my energy, my gratitude, my peace, my tranquility, and good vibes your way. Until next time, I see you in the next episode, babe. Peace and love.